So do you have a blog and then it's not performing nearly as good as you hoped it would? What's the best way to create blog content? I mean, outside of SEO practices, what really makes a good blog? Well, I'm Michael with WriterSanctuary, and today I'm going to talk about 5 important things that you need to be aware of when creating blog content. So I'm still getting used to having teeth in my mouth, so please bear with me if you're having a hard time understanding me. There's a few words that I really can't say all that clear, but it's one of those things I'm just going to have to get past. So this is going to be broken down in order of importance according to me. I'm the content marketing team lead of a prominent web hosting company, so I have a little bit of expertise in this area. The 5th most important thing is your post structure best practices. This includes things as your meta descriptions and your title. Because it's the meta descriptions and the title that'll increase your click-through rate in systems like Google. If a title isn't catchy enough or the meta description doesn't really convey what the person's trying to find, they're not going to click it. And your meta description will also influence your bounce rate. Because if you provide information in the meta description and someone visits your site and sees that the page isn't what the description said it was, they're going to quickly back out, which increases your bounce rate. And you want as low of a bounce rate as possible. Another part of your post structure is being able to offer a concise flow of thought. You don't want to fill blog posts with a bunch of nonsensical information that's not relevant to the topic. I know there's a lot of experts out there that say really super long blog posts are the best to do, but that's not entirely accurate. In reality, the perfect blog post is whatever your audience says it is. There's a lot of websites out there that will succeed with producing 1,200 word articles compared to something that has 3,000 words on it. This all relates to the amount of information that's within that article. And it also depends on the topic. But the bottom line is that every one of the top 10 positions in Google all have a concise flow of thought for the topic that they're writing about. And your post structure is also going to include things like your header and subheadings. You don't want a wall of text, so you need to break it up. Having super long paragraphs looks horrible on mobile devices. That's one of the biggest reasons why so many people break up content as small as possible and then highlight all the parts with a good heading and subheading. That's because if you're looking at a 5-inch phone and you're trying to read through it, you don't want a wall of text. It's easy to get lost and people don't absorb the content. So number 4 of the most important things is make sure you have optimal keywords and phrases. Now keywords don't play as big of a role as they used to. Back in the day, you can fill up an article with hundreds of keywords and it would score well in Google. Nowadays, not so much. In fact, the algorithm is looking for relevance rather than the actual keyword itself. Now don't get me wrong, keywords are still important. If you're writing about chicken recipes, someone who's looking for chicken recipes needs to find your content. But the keywords don't play nearly as strong as a role as they used to. Nowadays, it's mostly about semantic indexing, words that are relevant to the topic that you're writing about. Okay, one of the tools that I like to use most is Keywords Everywhere, and what this does is that it'll break down any words that you put in a search term, and it'll give you a breakdown of its popularity. So in this case, if I type in Google, it has a volume of 618 million searches per month. So let's say if we wanted to do a chicken recipe, let's add pineapple. According to Keywords Everywhere, chicken recipe pineapple has a volume of 9,900 searches per month. Then on the right, you have related keywords. Now these are things that you want to keep in mind. So from here, we can see sticky pineapple chicken, we got fresh pineapple chicken recipe. All of these we can add in our article if we were writing about those specific terms. So using this system here, I can decide, well, what if I want to write pineapple chicken healthy? And then this will give me all the articles broken down for that keyword. Just remember that when you're looking at stuff like this, you want to make sure that the phrase that you're choosing is relevant to the topic that you're writing about. Otherwise, Google will score you poorly and visitors will, well, they'll leave your content. Another thing you need to keep in mind is competition. Like say if I wanted to write pineapple chicken healthy, according to Google, there's more than 83 million, almost 84 million results about pineapple chicken healthy, which means that is a lot of competition if you want to appear on the front page. Now, one of my past clients thought that as long as you put in the best keyword you can, you will instantly appear on the top page results of Google. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Not only do you have competition, but Google needs to index the site, and then it has to be rated according to what people want to read. So just because you're using the best keyword doesn't guarantee that you're going to appear well in Google. It all depends on the content that is around it and how well you market it. Now, the third most important thing about creating a blog post is to make it readable. I'm not just talking about grammar and making sure things are spelled right. Each sentence has to have a complete thought behind it. And if you're not writing very well, you're going to lose the attention of the audience. Now, you don't have to be an English major, but you still need to be able to convey your message when you're writing a blog post. And if your mind is all over the place and you can't maintain a straight line of cohesive thought, it's not going to do well. And you need to get to your point as quickly as possible. The longer you draw it out, the more likely people are going to leave. It's all about keeping them engaged with content that they're able to absorb, which is why you go by the Flash Reading E-score. Now, I've talked about the Flash Reading E-score when using Yoast, and I'll leave a link in the card above. But this is when you write content that's easy for anybody to be able to read. It doesn't matter if you score well in the Flash Reading E-score if you're not able to hold the attention of the reader. Now, the number 2 thing that's important for creating a blog post is making sure you market it. Now, most of your traffic is going to come from search engines, but you shouldn't just bank on nothing but Google search. There's all kinds of avenues that can still bring people in. For instance, you can use guest posts on another blog that links back to your own. You can share your content on social media. In fact, I get a little bit of traffic from Facebook and Twitter. And when you share on social media, you can make it easier on yourself by using tools like Buffer, Hootsuite, and Zoho. These are free marketing platforms that you can use to broadcast your blog posts to all your social media platforms from one location. It's convenient, and a lot of them have statistical information to show you how well your posts are doing on social media, such as click-through rates. You can also use things like blog submission sites. Unfortunately, I only found one of these that actually does any good for myself. And the only one that I use is Blogorama, and that's only for the fitness site that I maintain. In fact, Blogorama.com has brought in more referring traffic than Facebook and Twitter combined. All I have to do is just hit the publish button on my WordPress blog for Crossing Colorado, and it's immediately sent to Blogorama. I have an article on WriterSanctuary's blog where I break down different ways that you can market your blog without spending ad revenue. I'll leave a link to that blog in the description down below. So the number 1 thing that's going to make or break your blog is your content. If no one's looking for it, no one's going to read it. It's not about what you want to write, but more about what they want to read. Now, you can have the best SEO practices in the world and find the most amazing keywords you can. But if someone isn't looking for the topic, no one's going to read it. Now, a couple of methods that you can use to see what your audience wants to read is something like Google Trends or using key phrases like I mentioned earlier. My point is that your actual content is what's going to drive your blog to success. This is true in any media, even YouTube. I see a lot of people that say, why don't I have any subscribers when I have all these videos up? Probably because no one wants to watch them. Now, I know how crass that may sound, but it's the truth. Same thing with blog. You can create 1,000 blog posts and not get a single person that wants to read them. It's all about the content. Luckily, it's pretty easy to fix this problem if you just use like keywords everywhere, Google Trends. You can monitor social media to see what's trending now. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to find out what people want to read. But don't expect that just because you created a blog post that you're going to get an influx of traffic. Because like I said before, if no one's looking for it, no one's going to read it. So what's the most important aspect of your blog to you? Leave it in the comments down below. Anyway, if you found the video informative, hit the like button. If you want to learn more about text broker, freelance writing, WordPress, or any of the other topics I cover, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell because some of the videos haven't been reaching my audience. Like I said last week, my friend doesn't get them until the next day. So YouTube's having a YouTube problem. And I really hope that you're able to understand me with a mouthful of acrylic. I'm trying my hardest. It's still trying to get used to it. So that's going to do it for me today. I'll see you tomorrow.